Friends, today's story is all about a young American guy named Matthew who moves to Paris to finish his studies. But right after he arrives, he meets a brother and sister whose wild, boundary-pushing behavior completely blows his mind. The movie I'm recapping for you is the 2003 cult classic, The Dreamers. The film opens with Matthew, our lead, settling into Paris life. He's a huge movie buff, and one day while heading to catch a film, he runs into massive street protests filled with college students clashing with the government. In the chaos, he meets a beautiful, free-spirited girl named Isabel. She smiles and tells him, "I've seen you around here a lot, but you're always alone." Matthew replies that he's just arrived from America and hasn't made any friends yet. Isabel then introduces him to her brother, Theo. The three of them are chatting when the police suddenly charge the crowd, forcing everyone to scatter and run. Matthew feels genuinely happy. He's finally found some real friends in this new city. Back at his place that night, he tries to write a letter to his mom, but his mind keeps drifting back to Isabel. The next morning, Theo calls and invites him over for dinner. When Matthew arrives, Isabel introduces him to their mother, who's thrilled because she herself is American. He also meets their father, a thoughtful writer. During dinner, the dad shares lots of wise thoughts, but Matthew can't take his eyes off Isabel. After the meal, the mom suggests he stay the night. Soon after, the parents head out for a trip and leave behind a check so the kids can enjoy themselves while they're gone. Once they're alone, Matthew says he should probably head home, but the siblings won't let him leave. A little later, Isabel casually kisses her brother right in front of Matthew, then walks off like it's nothing. It feels incredibly strange. She then shows Matthew to his guest room. That night, when he gets up to use the bathroom, he returns to find Isabel and Theo sleeping together completely naked in the same bed. Shocked and still carrying a crush on Isabel, Matthew quietly slips back to his own room. The next morning, Isabel wakes him by climbing on top and kissing him passionately. Matthew freezes. He's only in his underwear and is visibly aroused from morning wood. She then leads him to the bathroom where Theo is already standing naked. Matthew blurts out, "Your sister's here. How can you just stand around without clothes?" Isabel calmly replies, "We're like one person. We're not ashamed of anything we do together." Theo adds that their parents won't be back for a whole month and invites Matthew to stay with them the entire time. When Matthew hesitates, saying they barely know each other, Isabel smiles and says, "Don't worry, if you stay, we'll get to know each other very well." Since Matthew is already crazy about her, he agrees and moves in. One night, the three of them play a fun game where Theo and Isabel act out scenes from movies and Matthew has to guess the titles. If he loses, he has to do a dare. But Matthew wins, and the siblings excitedly tell him they've been looking for someone exactly like him to join their dares. Later, they head to an art gallery for their first dare, a wild race through the halls. On the way home, it starts pouring rain, soaking all three of them. Theo's phone rings, but he ignores it. Back at the apartment, Theo gives Matthew dry clothes and goes to grab drinks. While alone, Matthew finds a photo of Isabel and nervously hides it in his underwear. When Theo returns, the three of them start drinking and playing the game again, this time with Theo and Isabel performing while Matthew watches from outside. The dare involves masturbating to a photo. Without hesitation, Theo and Isabel drop their pants and start touching themselves right there. For them, it's completely normal, but for Matthew, seeing something like this for the first time feels completely overwhelmed.
The next day, Matthew asks Theo how they can do such intimate things so openly. Theo explains that he and Isabel are twins, who were actually conjoined at birth. Even though their bodies are now separate, they feel like they share one mind and can't live without each other. Soon, they play the game again. This round, Matthew loses and is given a dare. He has to watch the siblings be intimate with each other. When Isabel starts undressing, Matthew panics and runs to the bathroom to hide. After a long time, he finally comes out, but Theo grabs him and both siblings start stripping off his clothes. They discover the hidden photo of Isabel in his underwear and burst out laughing. The tension breaks and Matthew finally gets intimate with Isabel, the moment both of them had clearly wanted. Afterward, he realizes she's still a virgin. When he asks about it, Isabel explains that she and Theo sleep together but have never crossed that physical line. Matthew worries what her parents would think, but she replies that it could never happen, and if they ever found out, she would kill herself. A few days later, the money from the check runs out because they've been having way too much fun. Isabel tries to cook with whatever's left in the house, but the food tastes terrible, so no one eats. With no cash left, they realize they actually have to get serious. One day, while Matthew and Theo are sharing a bath, Theo teases him about how violent Americans are. Matthew shrugs it off, saying it's not his fault. Isabel joins them in the tub, and soon she tells Matthew he needs to prove he loves both of them. The siblings then start trimming the hair around Matthew's private area. He gets angry and snaps, "Why do you guys still do these childish things?" He also tells Isabel she probably hasn't had a real boyfriend because she's too attached to her brother. Hurt by his words, Isabel goes on a date with Matthew and officially becomes his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Theo brings a girl home and sleeps with her. When Matthew and Isabel return from their date, they walk in on Theo having sex with the girl. Isabel becomes insanely jealous, screaming and crying. Later, Matthew and Theo share some wine, and Matthew tells him there's a real revolution happening outside. He warns that sitting inside watching won't change anything. You have to go out and live real life. Isabel then pulls both of them into a tent, where all three sleep together naked. But the next morning, before they wake up, Isabel and Theo's parents return home and discover the three of them sleeping together naked. Their mother is horrified, but she quietly leaves another check and walks out without waking them. When the trio finally wakes up and finds the check, they realize their parents now know everything. Devastated, Isabel decides to end it all and turns on the gas pipe while lying down. Outside, however, the massive street protests are still raging. A rock suddenly smashes through their window, waking Matthew and Theo. The two guys rush out and join the revolution, throwing stones at the police. Matthew tries desperately to stop Theo, but he won't listen, and Isabel starts cheering him on. They push forward to confront the cops while Matthew hangs back. The police launch a brutal lathi charge on the crowd, and with that chaotic moment, the story comes to an end.
If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more amazing movie recaps.